Alright, my proposition is that the recent ban in New York limiting soda size to 16 ounce will not reduce obesity. My supporting claims are that the soda ban will not decrease obesity because it will not lower the amount of calories people take in, and yet perhaps increase the caloric intake, and the ban infringes upon one's personal right to choose. Callan's first point was that the ban will raise awareness about obesity. I agree with her statement that limiting the soda ban to 16 ounces will raise awareness about obesity. However, so are anti-obesity ads. There are already ads all over America on TV commercials, in magazines, billboards, throughout subways in New York and other cities and so forth. This ban will not only raise awareness about obesity, but it will also raise awareness about our rights. Which brings me to the next supporting point, that the New York ban limiting soda size to 16 ounces is an infringement upon people's rights to choose. The Bill of Rights of the United States guarantees individuals the right to personal autonomy, meaning that a person's decision about his or her life is just that, it's personal. The government has no say, and the government has no business if someone makes the decision to purchase a sugar-sweetened beverage larger than 16 ounces. This New York ban is an infringement upon one's personal right to choose. The government has no right to be restricting someone's portions, nor does it have the right to regulate one's diet or how many calories from sugar-sweetened beverages one consumes. Since the government does not have the right to regulate how many calories one consumes, this ban will not lower the amount of calories people take in. According to Callan, a study found within the University of North Carolina states that a quarter of our calories come from liquids we take in, since we don't regulate what we drink as much as we eat. She goes on to say that the 12-ounce roll of McFlurry contains 700 calories, while Big Mac is only 550 calories. Making the assumption that America has good taste, it's safe to assume people are going to choose the Oreo McFlurry, which only has 510 calories, which is 40 calories less than the Big Mac. So, in turn, we are regulating what we eat more than we drink, or what we drink more than we eat. Okay, that's the side point. However, most people go on McDonald's for a meal, not just one item or just a Big Mac. They're going to go and get, number one, a Big Mac meal with, let's say small fries. Well, the Big Mac is 550 calories, the small French fries 230 calories, and ketchup packets 230 calories, which comes out to about 810 calories. And New York's only going to allow you to have a 16-ounce soda. I'm pretty sure that people are going to go and get a refill for that. Callan makes the inference that Americans are lazy. Well, we're also stubborn. By limiting the soda size to 16 ounces with only one refill, we are bypassing the medium and going straight to the amount of calories as a large soda at 310 calories. In turn, we're taking in more calories. In conclusion, limiting the soda size to 16 ounces in New York is an infringement upon one's personal autonomy and the right to choose, and it has potential to increase the amount of caloric intake, making the ban counterproductive. Callan said, America has chosen to make bad decisions, and it is the government's job to protect America from the bad decisions. So the government must protect America, but by educating and informing, not by imposing on people's dietary choices. Therefore, the recent ban in New York limiting the soda size to 16 ounces will not reduce obesity.
All right, well, this is a lot like the last one. You've got basically an argument that's a set of counterclaims to the advocate's claim, talking about the policy and what the problems with the policy are, as opposed to the advocate's claim, which is that this policy would produce this particular effect or this outcome. I think that there are a couple of arguments that you make that address the issue of the outcome. For instance, whether or not people would comply with this, you make a suggestion that they might just go ahead and get refills. In fact, there's one argument that seems to suggest that Americans are stubborn asses and we would just basically fill up to spite the big brother attitude of the government on limiting these drinks. That's largely asserted, and I think you could use a little bit of evidence to make that argument convincing. All of the argument about infringement on the right to choose is a valid disadvantage for a policy claim, but it has no application to the claim of fact that's being presented here. So I think it's really a little bit off target here. It also needs to be developed more. You kind of explain the concept, but you don't really explain why the concept matters, what standards we ought to use in making this, what the criteria is for judging this value in comparison to the other value. Why is the right to choose more important than the right to the government to save your life from your own stupidity? You need to give us some standard by which we could make such a judgment, and that's why that argument would need a lot more development. And it's one of the reasons that this argument, like I said, I tried to avoid these kinds of arguments because right now you're focusing on the claims of fact. Look, we're going to get to these policy debates. They're coming up. That's the next assignment. I'll have that for you posted, by the way, on over the weekend, and you can start looking at it. But you're going to be doing a lot of these kinds of arguments. But the argument expands substantially in a lot of different directions when you do that, and you've got to make sure that you have clash in your argument first before you do that kind of expansion. All right, thank you.